Whoa, I'm the Frenchman. I'm the DC Frenchman. I'm the Frenchman in Washington, DC. How you doing, guys? Good evening. I'm about to give you the Valentine's Day Massacre of Washington, DC, February the 14th, 2024. Here we go.
To begin with that ongoing shooting and standoff.
Thanks to US Today.
Thank you for being here with us on this busy Wednesday night.
Thanks to
I'm Leslie Foster, and we're expecting an update from police in about an hour. But tonight we've got live team coverage.
USA
of a pretty
TV9.
scary day for our neighbors there.
Let's see what happened here in
Moreno is
Washington
live
today.
at MedStar Washington Hospital, where those 3 officers are recovering.
Yeah, but let's start with our Delia Gonzalez. She is live in Southeast near that home where the man is still barricaded inside. D, what's happening right now?
So we are about 4 blocks away from that home in question here on
Southeast
46
DC,
and
everyone.
Benning. This is as far as police
by Simple City.
have really allowed us to be.
I
This
go through there when I'm
considered a
headed
safe
to
zone because, as we've been
Maryland.
reporting all day long here on WUSA 9, this has been a very active scene with the gentleman, the subject inside that home, still shooting at officers. And as you
Still
mentioned,
shooting
Leslie,
at
a
officers,
certainly
folks.
scary situation
Washington,
for
D.C.
many of the children who were inside the elementary schools, even this K through 8 school, a KIPP DC charter school. Talked to many of those parents who were picking up their kids. They had a 2 p.m. early dismissal. We understand the school was on secure lockdown throughout the day.
All day long, the kids couldn't go to school
unfolding outside that school
February
at one point.
because of
An
this guy over here
ambulance
shooting.
pulled up to the school, and a child was removed.
Shot 3
on
police
a stretcher.
officers.
We saw a delivery man
who were
delivering
trying to
a
take his
Valentines
dogs from
pizza to the school. So you can
Humane
imagine
Society.
the kind of tension that they were working with on the inside. But let's talk about what happened here. We know that this started at 7:30 this morning.
7:30 this
when
morning.
police officers were assisting folks from the Animal Humane Alliance, trying to serve that warrant, issue that warrant for an arrest in regards to animal cruelty. When all of a sudden we're hearing from witnesses that
I thought I might have to bring this to you all
We know 3
before you miss
officers
this on
were
Valentine's
shot.
Day.
A 4th officer was hurt. Chief Smith was here some time ago. She said she actually visited all of them at the hospital, and they're in good spirits. But we want to talk to Chief Smith, who had a bit more to say about this
What you gotta say,
unfolding
Chief Smith?
situation here. Let's listen in.
Let's hear what Chief Smith got to say.
At this time, the individual remains barricaded inside the
I've seen
residence.
her.
This remains an
Met her.
active situation, and the individual has continued to fire from that location. We are asking everyone to please stay out of this location until we are able to apprehend the suspect.
That side of town was shut down for hours today, guys.
Back here live on Benning Road, you can see all that police tape that's cordoned off in the area. There are major roadblocks in this
I don't
area
own
as
the rights
police
to
are
this
trying
video.
to keep
This
folks
is
as
USA
far away
9
as possible.
News
Again, they are
Network.
still in communication with this man. I'm told by the chief they have not made visual contact with him since very early this morning when they tried serving that warrant. However, they have been in constant communication with him
Ain't playing
by
out
the
here. Folks
phone.
ain't
At
playing
one
out
point
here.
during a news conference
You got
a
to be
little
careful
later,
with
she
everybody.
said, you know, he's up and down. I asked her, what do you mean by that? She said, there are times when he's communicating with us. There are other times when he gets very agitated. And so this has been a very stressful situation, a delicate situation for those negotiators who are trying to talk to this gentleman and trying to bring this 10-hour standoff to a resolution, a peaceful
If you're interested in the
resolution,
roads,
certainly
these are
to
called
ease the
dude
minds
roads.
of the officers
By dude
and the
roads
neighbors
company.
in this area who say, listen, we suffer from this trauma every day. We see police presence, we hear shootings, we see the violence all the time, certainly not to this level. So again, we are hoping to get more information
we
from
have
police,
stuff
but
like
at the
that
very
happen
least
to this
here
level, 'cause
from
we've had
46 and Benning. Back
guys
to the
rush up
studio.
into the
Yeah,
police.
you know, we have to be so
office.
careful about what we're reporting when
Police
there's an
station
active
downtown, the
barricade
courthouse,
occurring, because we
into
don't
the
know
main
what this
office and go
person's
in there and
hearing,
shoot
seeing,
everybody
is
in.
digesting. And so, Delia,
Look
thank
at our
you for your
history in
very
Washington,
careful and
you'll see that.
thorough reporting as this evolves. 10 hours now
Yeah, this is how people started their day, and a lot of people are asking, when will this end? And Dee, you touched on this. The
I
chief is
just
saying,
wanted
you know, we're going to
touch
be out
on
here
this
for as long
today
as
and
it
let
takes
you
to
all know
end
what
this
was going on. We
peacefully.
had a
Again, this is
shooting
very
today here in
delicate
Washington,
situation.
D.C.
So, we'll be here.
3
until it's all over.
police officers
Absolutely.
shot.
Thank you.
Yep. 3 police officers were shot today in Washington, D.C., as I was telling you, on Valentine's Day.
Tired of having stuffed pockets?
I don't know.
Check out this retro key
I
bag
don't
that
know what we're
clips
gonna
on
do.
your belt. Top
When there's an animal cruelty situation involved,
Yep,
the
but,
police assist the Humane Society in doing so. This started at 7:30 this morning with them trying to serve a warrant, the Criminal Apprehension Unit over on Hannah Place Southeast, not
Hannah
too far away
Place
from where
Southeast.
you just saw Matt Gregory, not far away. And when they tried to serve that warrant, the person who was inside the home did not come outside of the home. They tried to gain entry. The police department, the investigators tried to gain entry. The person started firing shots at the police that were trying to go into that home. 3 officers were hit by those shots. We're not sure how many shots were fired. Those 3 officers taken to the hospital, non-life-threatening injuries. A 4th officer
So
was
they
injured,
survived.
not by gunfire, but was injured,
4.
also taken
4
to the
officers
hospital.
were hit, guys.
Right now, that suspect still inside, barricade situation. The chief said that this suspect had fired at them, continues to fire shots, although we haven't heard anything about that. Now, Gregory
WUSA
said
9
he hadn't
News.
heard anything like that, but the chief said that suspect fired more shots after
y'all-
those officers were injured and
Thanks
taken
for
away from
tuning
the
in
scene.
to the DC
Barricade
Fixer Show
situation,
tonight.
they are in contact
Got to
with the
apologize
suspect,
for,
trying to negotiate a
bringing
peaceful
the
end
news so
to
late
this
to you.
situation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Meanwhile, they're asking anyone and everyone in the area to avoid this section of the district. And you've
It's
also got
way over
neighboring
now, though.
schools
I'm sure
on
it's over
lockdown
with.
still
They
at
just,
this hour. Garfield
I'm a little
Elementary
late.
School, Plummer Elementary School, both on lockdown. And you have KIPP DC, which is closer to the G Street location where our Marcella Robertson is live. And that school is on what's called secure, meaning that no one can enter and exit the building.
Yeah.
And we've been keeping an
Lockdown.
eye on that situation. And so that is what is going down at KIPP DC. But, you know, lots of people affected by this, and we still don't know
PSA.
for how much longer
Public
it could
service
go into the
announcement,
afternoon.
news.
And, you know, thankfully, we can report that these officers
your
are
surroundings.
recovering, being treated at the Washington
Mind
Hospital
your
Center.
business.
We did learn serious. When at first it was, you know, we weren't sure of the degree of the injuries here, but we can tell you that the chief passed along, or the police union representative passed along that these injuries, though, while not life-threatening, are serious. The other aspect of this, for me, is the involvement with the Humane Rescue Alliance, right? And coming out and having this be so serious that an arrest warrant was issued for this individual. So there's the other factor of that, you know, Matt heard, he didn't know if, of course, he couldn't know that the yelping that he's heard from the dogs are related to this, but there is that aspect as well. Just so many layers to this ongoing, breaking, developing news out of Southeast Washington this morning.
There you
And you
have
can
it,
imagine
guys.
the parents, we talked about this all morning long.
The parents
because
of
when
the
you have
children that were
schools
going to
involved, you have
school
the Garfield, Plummer,
in the
KIPP
morning.
DC, Woodson, all in that same area.
That's what everybody got a
Parents
problem with right
going
now
up to the
about
school
this.
in the morning time. This started at 7:30. This whole thing started at 7:30 this morning. School time in DC starts at 8:45.
Right in the thick of
Right
when
in the thick of
school
when you're
happens.
doing drop-offs. You're going up to the school as a parent and as a young child. You see yellow police tape, roads blocked off. Delia said that there were about 30 police cars at one point, with more cars coming. So you're a child, you're a parent, you're going up to school to start your day, and it's Valentine's Day. So you're thinking you're going to school to have some fun today with your balloons and your candy, and then you get up to the school
No.
and you see yellow tape,
Yellow
police
tape.
cars. All
So I'm gonna
these
call this
things
the
happening, and
Valentine's
all of a sudden
Day
your mentality changes
attempted
as a
massacre.
parent. You're
That's
concerned,
what
and
we'll
then you
call
find
the
out
name
the
of this
school's on
video.
lockdown, and the school, another school
DC
is
version.
secure
DC
status.
DC
It's got
version.
the heartbreaking,
Edition.
frightening, all those
Pardon me.
other adjectives
All of it.
that you use to describe what happens when you see police at a school.
Right,
At a
and
school.
that's just today, but that certainly will have a lasting impact
Oh, certainly.
for the parents and
Where
for
school
children
should-
beyond today.
School should be a safe zone, but
Absolutely,
instead,
yeah.
you're held there for your safety. We want to go back out now to Marcella Robertson,
I hate to
there
say
on
about
the
the
scene
other
with new
schools.
information. Good morning, Marcella.
Caucasian schools, you go up in there,
Hey, Hey
You might
guys,
have
good
one of
morning.
the students just come
I mean,
inside the
we're
Caucasian
talking about
school and
the
just
schools and right where we were
shoot
seeing all
everybody
morning.
in there. That's
KIPP
something
DC
I've
right here
never
on the
really
corner,
agreed with.
really in the middle of
Black
all of
kids,
this police
they might
action. It's
shoot
really
one
difficult
another
for people
or shoot at
to
one another
you know, for parents to drop their kids
at a
off for young
school, after
kids to
school in
come
the
to the school
neighborhood.
day here
They ain't
and
going
really
up in no
experience all
school
of this police
and
presence. I spoke with a woman who was
everybody
talking about
because
her
somebody
5-year-old
did
daughter
something in the black
this
school
morning,
system. So
and you know, was
I
really
love my
upset.
black
She
school
was almost on the
system
verge of tears,
for
trying to explain
us
to her
not going at each
5-year-old
other
why
like
there were
that.
so
We
many
are in
officers
there to get
and such
education.
a
And you
massive
do
police
see us
presence
black
out here this
guys
morning.
and black
You mentioned
females
the
in
balloons,
school.
right? We
We're
saw
really
them
there to get our
coming
education
into the
because you
school,
don't
and
see
it's
us
supposed to be just a regular day for kids, but
just going
unfortunately
up in
they
there
are
trying to kill each
now
other
in the
like
middle
that.
of this barricade
I'm
situation
thinking
that is still
white kids, they
ongoing.
probably
The school, KIPP DC, is in
so
secure
privileged,
status,
you know
so
they
essentially
gonna
a
get
lockdown.
along
We
in
have
life and
seen
it's just a
any
phase.
students
This school really
entering
ain't
or
nothing.
leaving the
My
building
parents
have
got
been
me, so I ain't
escorted
worried about
out
none
by
of this.
an officer. So you can only
I can
imagine
do whatever I
how
want in
scary
this
that may be
school.
for
So
you know,
we
so a
don't
lot of
carry it
the
like
students
that.
and parents in this area. At this point, we don't have any other updates, not a lot of movement. It does look like Matt Gregory, from his vantage point, is able to see a little bit more than we are this morning, but there is still a significant amount of police presence. We have seen the ATF agents kind of huddled around here a little bit. Not a ton of action in or around this command center, and the few
From the
people
DC
that
Frenchman show.
were out here this morning, unable to get into the apartments, it does look like they have
Yep.
made their way back inside. So
Simple City
it's
is
just
right behind this
really
building. It's a
unclear
place called
what
Simple
any
City.
movement may be on this, but I mean, you can understand the
Simple City behind this
significance
building.
and importance to make sure that police are
I used to
executing
stay up
this
this hill right
carefully,
here.
especially when you have someone
It's
who
a
has
hill
already
right
shot
here.
police this
If you
morning,
see,
has shot those 3
you can go
officers
straight,
and
slam
made
up.
their
It's a
intention
big
very
parking lot. I
clear.
used to
So
stay up there on
it
C
is
Street.
unclear how long KIPP DC will be in the middle of all of this, what a pickup will look like
Yeah, I
for
used to stay
parents,
up there
and how long the situation
one year
will
with
be
me and my
ongoing this
female
morning.
got
But
into
we'll
an
certainly be
argument.
out
I
here
went up there
and
and
we'll
stayed with
continue
my
to
brother
monitor the
up there.
situation. This is really all that's going on here along Bending Road. It is just a lot of police presence, a few people out here trying to figure out and watch and see how this is going to unfold, but really just a lot of media in this area. And then, of course, the officers and ATF that seems to be assisting in this investigation. Marcella, thank you. Marcella Robertson with the update from closer to the scene. And for those of you tuning in right now, expecting to see the Price is Right, we're just here telling you that the program is being preempted due to this ongoing breaking news. We're now going into our third hour of when this started to unfold. It began just after 7:30 of this officer-involved shooting. And we still don't know how much longer it will go on for. We understand this is a ongoing barricade situation, and anytime that's involved, it's just a matter of when they can peacefully end this with the suspect inside the home.
Perhaps complicated by the fact that you know, this is not just, we don't know who is in the house or who's involved, what is in the house exactly.
Like,
so
share,
out of an abundance of
subscribe
caution
to
for
the DC
everyone
Frenchman Show.
involved here. So that
DC
banner
Frenchman.
says everything. 3
y'all for
police
tuning in.
officers shot. That's the importance and why we are staying on at this hour, and we know you're missing the prices
Valentine's
right
Day
now, but this is exactly why. In fact,
Massacre,
those officers
attempted
suffered
massacre.
non-life-threatening injuries, but serious injuries, and we find our Leslie Moreno at the Washington Hospital Center with where they've been taken. Good morning.
Washington Hospital Center, that's one of our hospitals.
Hey guys,
Let's
good morning.
sit
Now we're
beside
right
the
outside
Veterans
of the hospital.
Hospital.
This is where those
Washington
4
Hospital
officers
Center,
were rushed
Children's
here for
Hospital
treatment.
Center is
I
sitting
can
right
tell you
behind
that
it,
we
and
know
the
3
Veterans
officers
Hospital
were
is sitting
shot.
over to the
A
right-hand
representative
side
for
of
the
it. So
police
it's 3
union told us
major
that
hospitals
they
right
were
there.
shot in the hand, in the foot. We also know, as you've been mentioning, a 4th officer was injured. They weren't shot, but they were injured. Again, here recovering. We're told
must have
these
been running and bumped
officers
their head.
are expected to be
ran
okay.
and
They're in
dived
great
under a car.
spirits. Again, hearing from a representative for the police union about the situation. They came out and gave us an update here, telling us that, again, they're going to be okay. They've been in contact with family, and they're still here recovering. This all happened, as we've been saying, at around 7:30 when those officers were serving an arrest warrant, assisting the Humane Society. This was related to an animal cruelty case. That's where the officers were shot. Again, this was at around 7:30. Officers tried making contact with that man who was in that home. As you heard earlier, that representative for the police union said, we often want these sort of arrests, these warrants to be executed peacefully. That was not the case this morning, but again, he's glad that these officers are going to be okay. There's certainly, as he said earlier, could have gone completely different this morning, but again, officers here are expected to be okay. They're still here recovering and again in great spirits. Guys.
Leslie Moreno reporting from Washington Hospital Center. In fact, one of the union representative that she talked to earlier said that one officer was hit more than once, and the protective body gear that he had on shielded him from further harm. So we appreciate that, Leslie. Thank you very much for that report.
Let's head back out now to Matt Gregory, who is, or when we last spoke to him, he was on Hannah Place. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we're just about a block up from, so Hannah Place kind of divides at Benning Street, so we're on H, but Hannah Place right over my shoulder, that is where the focus of the entire situation has been, and I'm going to show you just kind of over my shoulder, walk you through the scene as we're looking at it right now, because we've been bouncing around the area here in Southeast, and this is kind of where the focus point is, because just off Hannah Place, past that particular Metro bus sign, that's where all the police seem to be stationed along there. It's further back, probably about a half block or so, is the actual home that the man has barricaded himself inside, according to police. This is just action up here in DC. This all started earlier this morning when police went to animal control to serve a warrant for animal cruelty. Now, when we were talking with the police chief earlier, and I'm sure many of my colleagues have reiterated this, they said it is customary for police to assist on things like this, especially with animal control. It was upon approaching the home, and they could not get the suspect to come out. They were then fired upon, and like you heard Leslie say, 3 of them hit, each one with different injuries, different levels of injuries, but all non-life threatening, and then a 4th officer injured as well. At this point, as we've been going through the investigation, we wanted to hear from the chief of police, really show you sort of, if you missed the press conference, reiterate some of the things she said about the situation as it developed.
And I'm here.
Whoa. Get matched with a local tax expert and hand off your taxes with TurboTax Live
so I'm gonna blank this out because this is not my. I don't get paid for this commercial right here, so I'm not gonna show.
I'm here today just to give you an update on the officer-involved shooting that occurred here this morning. Our officers were assigned to our criminal apprehension unit, responding to the residents here in the 5000 block of Hannah Place, Southeast, to serve an arrest warrant that was occupied by the Humane Society for Cruelty to Animals around 7:30 a.m. this morning. Our officers attempted to make contact with the individual inside the residence in order to execute the arrest warrant. The individual refused to come outside. As officers attempted to gain entry, the individual fired upon them. A barricade has been declared in this particular incident. Our officers were struck by gunfire, 3 of our officers to be exact. All 3 have been transported with non-life-threatening injuries to our local area hospitals.